You're watching CW Missoula Flathead with live finish line coverage from KPAX, the official TV station of the Missoula Marathon. Brought to you by Western Montana Clinic. Extraordinary care for your extraordinary life.
Good morning, everybody. Dennis Bragg along with Aaron Yost, and we're live here at the Missoula Marathon finish line. A little bit of breaking news just seconds ago.
Oh my gosh, Andy Drobeck just crossed the finish line just under 2 hours, full fire gear. He was trying to make not only a course record, but just a record in general, like Guinness record.
Yeah.
Didn't do that, but wow. There's a little breeze outside, which feels really, really good. And like I said, it's been a while since we've actually had kind of a chill in the air. The breeze is really helping. You can tell the humidity is up, so that might be the only bummer as far as the runners are concerned. But everybody I've talked to so far, including Trisha Drobeck, said that the weather's actually been really nice. It hasn't been bad. Of course, that'll change later. It's going to get hot really fast today.
This was what it looked like at the starting line this morning at 6 a.m.
Look at them
There
go.
in Frenchtown. You could see everybody taking off. And again, there was a lot of concern about the temperatures, but as Aaron said a little while ago, just that nice breeze has kicked up, and that's really helping at least these early finishers. I'm still a little worried about some of the guys later on, but that's kind of a concern.
I know, and actually because of the hot temperatures, race officials kind of like reviewed everything, the guidelines. They have made adjustments to the race day schedule. It's actually an hour shorter this year because of the expected heat that's coming in. So of course it's been reduced from 7.5 hours, which typically we would wrap things up at about 1:30 in the afternoon. Now it's 6.5 hours. So race officially ends an hour earlier at 12:30 because of the heat.
Somewhere out in the crowd, Ariana Lake is there, and she was with the one of our marathon winners, our half marathon winner, the men's half marathon winner. Ari?
It's been an incredible race day here, folks. Now, our winner for the men's half is a guy from Connecticut. His name was John Ranieri. His time, 1:06:38. So pretty incredible run there. Now, he was a runner from UNC back in the day, and he had a great race. He said he loved being in Montana. It was pretty amazing to see him cross the finish line because it was a pretty quick 3-2-1. So those first three runners, they didn't have a lot of time between them, but John still came in with the win. This is what he had to say shortly after crossing the finish line.
It always feels fantastic when you have the opportunity to get to win, and I capitalized on it today.
Yeah, absolutely. What were course conditions like out there?
It was cool. It was cool. It was calm, and it was almost near perfect. So you can't really get better than that.
McKenna Morley was hungry for that win today. She won last year. This is a Big Fork native, and she took home the winner again. This is the second year in a row for this hometown girl out of Big Fork. I had the chance to talk to her right after she won this race, and she was so excited to be running in her home state, representing Montana. She even had her Montana-shaped earrings in her ears, so very excited. She told me she didn't even really look back in the race. She said she didn't really see anyone except for the guys in front of her. So a great race for McKenna. And her official time, 1:17:21. This is what she told me after she won today.
Yeah, I felt a little dead coming across the finish line, but I feel good now. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she had quite a distance between her and the second place woman. How was it out on the track? Were you guys close to each other? Were you pretty much the dominant winner all day?
Yeah, I never saw them, so I'm not sure if they were behind me, but I mean they were behind, but I didn't know how close they were. But it was definitely interesting. Last year I had that girl in front of me the whole time, so it's kind of fun to chase her. So this year it was definitely a little harder to push myself.
Two of the best runners, the best endurance athletes in this race come from the same family in Missoula. Now, they weren't running out front today. They were running for very different goals. Andy and Trisha Drobeck met by necessity.
She just had bought this house and was just looking for a roommate, and I was like, got hired and needed a place quick. And so I actually lived in her basement was a tenant for a while.
The family called him the tenant.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine now after all of their awards and accomplishments, but at that time, 10 years ago, neither considered themselves an athlete.
Not me.
Yeah, I mean,
not really. Neither of us.
No, I mean, I don't think I even knew what cross country was till I was like 30.
Andy tried his first marathon in 2006 and has moved up to the pro ranks of the Ironman triathlon circuit. He searches for the toughest courses in the world. The Missoula firefighter also recently set the world record, running a mile in 6 minutes and 8 seconds while in full firefighter's gear. Trisha also tried her first marathon over a decade ago just to run with a friend. Now she has won the Missoula Marathon 4 times, owns the course record, and competed in the U.S. Olympic trials in 2016. The two late bloomers continue to surprise themselves, but their success doesn't surprise each other.
It was pretty obvious Trish had the talent to at least be running where she is now.
He's the most mental tough person I know. Like, he can pretty much put himself in any situation and just get through it.
This week, the Drobecks won't be running for first place, but instead for other goals. Andy will put on his firefighter's gear again and go for the world record time of 1 hour and 38 minutes in the half marathon.
I mean, it's one of those things I just don't know until I try it, because I'm not going to go out and put my feet and body through that in training.
Tricia gave birth to the couple's first child, Maisie, 3 months ago. She'll return to competition for the first time in the half marathon.
It's definitely a slow and humbling process, and I'm heavier and I'm tired a lot, so as you can imagine, it's a little harder to train.
But of course, this family still finds the time. Maisie's stroller needs new tires after just 3 months, and this week the Drobecks get a rare chance to compete in the same race at the same time, so it might get a little competitive.
I never will let Trish beat me. She beat me.
Maybe.
She beat me once because I had a stress fracture and took the boot off the day before.
The first goal is to break 130. Second goal, if I don't hit that, is to beat him.
Now, Tricia and Andy are very competitive in another way. They like to keep track of who has more medals and awards. Tricia said she was winning before she got pregnant. Since then, Andy has taken the lead. Back to you.
I love that family.
Oh, they're so great.
I had like an emotional meltdown, no joke. When Tricia crossed the finish line, she started crying.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it must be like a mom thing, I don't know. But I just looked at her and she locked eyes with me, she came over and we just like cried.
Yeah.
Gave her a huge hug. That family is amazing.
And I'm so proud of Andy, running in those. He told me when he ran the fun run here a few weeks ago, the hardest thing's running in the boots.
Oh, I can imagine.
Plus the heat that builds up in those turnouts.
I can imagine.
I mean, I've worn those things. They're not comfortable on the best of days. Because we've got our winner.
Yeah, here he comes.
Coming in across the bridge, our men's full marathon winner.
Is this Jeffrey Terrera?
I think it should be Jeffrey Terrera, I believe. Now let's throw it over to Ariana Lake and Derek Berkeley. They're back over with our men's winner from the Missoula Marathon.
Yeah, I'm here with Jeffrey Terrera. He just won the marathon 2 years in a row. How do you feel right now? You just crossed the line.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
Today it was hot, not like last year.
Yeah.
It was very hot.
What brought you back to Montana and Missoula?
What's it?
What brought you back to Montana?
It's a nice place. Yeah, I like it. It's a very nice place.
All right, we're live, and we've got our women's finisher that's coming across the bridge right now. If we cut up that mass cam, I think we can take a look at them coming across that finish line. Here she comes. I don't have an identity on her just yet.
Yeah, we're going to wait for this. Here she comes, just over 252. And there she crossed.
There she goes. There's your women's Missoula full marathon winner. We'll get her official name and time here shortly. People run the full marathon or the half marathon really for a lot of reasons. And some do it for fitness, some for sport. Some are kind of celebrating a life event or something like that. But some do it for a real specific cause.
That's right. They do it to make the Missoula community a little stronger, sometimes one kid at a time. Here's Jill Valley.
In the last 10 years, dozens of Missoula runners have hit the pavement to support Missoula Youth Homes. It's part of a fundraiser called Run for Kids, and it raises thousands of dollars to help the hundreds of children helped by Missoula Youth Homes every day. And every step those runners take represents one more person they're helping along the road of life.
In a sea of people, you might get a glimpse of a Run for Kids t-shirt. In its 10-year existence, Run for Kids has raised $850,000 for Missoula Youth Homes. It's a program that helps at-risk kids in so many ways.
Kids we work with deserve the chance to make for a good life. There's not one answer for any of those kids, so we provide an array of services: group care, wilderness treatment, emergency shelter, foster care. We do adoptions. We do in-home service to help kids stay home or go home.
About 100 people will be running for Missoula Youth Homes during the marathon, raising at least $70,000. That goes to help 350 kids a day, close to 1,000 a year, 10,000 since youth homes first opened in 1971.
And I think we've seen a huge shift in how we see people that are struggling. We're hearing about this in corrections, right? About that not everybody who's in the jail should be in jail. They should be getting support. I think we've achieved that for our children, which is, if that's what I've achieved, I think I've achieved at least a part of that. I've achieved a lot.
The mission of youth homes is to help every youth feel safe, have a sense of belonging, and find a place to call home. The marathon itself is a journey. For some, it's an easy one. For others, a challenge. One might say it parallels the challenge many families face as they overcome abuse, neglect, or trauma.
Because I think the people we attract are, they're running their first marathon or half marathon, and so they not only come to support our kids, but also that they get the support. And so I think that's really who we're working with, and I think it's kind of cool that that's what it is, because their journeys then sort of resemble the journeys of the kids we work with.
I'm here with the women's marathon winner, Brianna Petrie from Spokane. Brianna just crossed the finish line just a few minutes ago. How are you feeling?
Good, yeah.
How was the race today?
It was warm. But it was fun.
Yeah.
I'm actually from Montana, so this race is like, I just live in Washington now.
Okay. So you're a Montana woman,
Yes,
for sure.
Yes, so this is my favorite race, and I've done it 9 times, so. Yeah.
And you had some special fans out there cheering you on today.
Yes, I did.
Tell me about that.
My daughter Reagan is 2, and then Lincoln is 10 months, and my husband. I think my mom and my aunt came too. I needed to see them at certain parts. It really actually boosted me when I wanted to just quit. I was like, there's my little girl and my little boy. I have to do it for them. So.
We hope you've enjoyed our coverage. Don't forget, coming up tonight at 5:30, we'll have a complete wrap-up.
Oh, yes.
Thanks for joining us. Live coverage of the Missoula Marathon here on Missoula Flathead CW.
Go run wild, Missoula!